Jameela Jamil isn't your typical Hollywood star. While many celebrities glamorize achieving unrealistic beauty standards, she has been a powerful voice against all this.
Cheap clothing. You know, just because you look like a woman, we trust you and we think you're on our side, but you are selling us something that really doesn't make us feel good. You're selling us an ideal, a body shape,
But what is the story behind her activism? Let's discuss the details of Jameela Jamil's sad life story and the struggles that have led her to expose the beauty industry. Let's start from the beginning. Life wasn't kind to Jameela from the get-go. In fact, she was born with problems that would break any person's spirit. Jameela shared that she's faced hearing difficulties since childhood. Imagine trying to navigate the world when sounds are muffled or distorted. That's the reality for people with congenital hearing loss. This condition can make it difficult to hear conversations, especially in noisy environments. In Jameela's case, it affected both ears, with slightly more hearing loss in her right ear. On top of that, she also experienced labyrinthitis, an inner ear condition that can cause dizziness and balance problems. These challenges can be incredibly frustrating, but she didn't let them hold her back. She underwent several surgeries to help manage her hearing loss and labyrinthitis. This wouldn't be the last time her genetics and bad health would rear its ugly head, as Jameela was just a teenager when she was diagnosed with an eating disorder called anorexia nervosa. Anorexia is a serious illness where someone restricts their food intake and has a distorted body image. Jameela described feeling pressure to be thin. She even recalled an incident where she was weighed in front of the class at school and felt extremely embarrassed about her body and her weight.
I was bullied really badly throughout school. I was bullied from the age of 6 until I was 17. It's why I didn't finish school, because I got bullied so badly that after I got hit by a car and I had to take a year out, I got offered to go back and finish school so I'd be able to go to uni. And I was so traumatized from being bullied that I didn't go back to finish schooling. I was like, no, I actually can't be in that situation ever again. It felt like prison to me.
And it's not surprising she developed anorexia. Experiences like these, along with messages from magazines and even some celebrities, can make someone feel like all their worth depends on their weight. Jameela says this pressure led her down a dangerous path. She stopped eating regular meals, fearing any food would make her gain weight.
I have had an eating disorder since I was 13. I don't now, but I really only stopped, a number of years ago, living in that spiral. And I was the teenager who used to buy the teas and the drinks and the diet pills recommended by the celebrities that I used to look up to. And as a result, my thyroid, my digestive system, my kidney, my liver, and my metabolism have been damaged ever since. They've never really recovered.
She even resorted to using laxatives. Laxatives are designed to work by speeding up the movement of food through your intestines. This is helpful in some situations, like if you're constipated. But when you use them all the time, they can interfere with your body's ability to absorb important nutrients from your food. These nutrients are essential for all sorts of things, like keeping your muscles strong, your brain working, and your immune system healthy. When you don't get enough nutrients, your body starts to break down. This can lead to a whole host of problems, including muscle weakness and fatigue, hair loss, and dry skin. This lack of nutrients can even lead to death in extreme cases. But thankfully, Jameela sought help before it went that far. We can only imagine how toxic her relationship with food was. She would rather starve and waste the food than to gain weight. Thankfully, Jameela stopped starving herself by the time she was 19. But it took another 11 years before she could truly eat healthy and have a normal relationship with food. If you think all these weren't bad enough, in 2022, Jameela revealed through an Instagram reel that she had been battling with a health condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS for short. This is a very rare condition that Jameela was born with. Imagine being able to stretch your skin further than most people. That's one of the things Jameela can do because of EDS. EDS affects your connective tissue, the glue that holds your body together. This tissue supports your skin, joints, and even your organs.
Hi, look at this. Jesus Christ. That is not an app. That's not a filter. That is just my face. Look at how elastic that is. The reason it is so elastic is because I have something called EDS. That is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have EDS3, HEDS3, and it's the H is because I'm so hypermobile. It pertains to my joints. As you can see, nothing bends the right way. Everything bends the right and wrong way. And
EDS can make your joints super bendy, like Jameela showed in her video. This might sound cool, but it can actually lead to pain, injuries, and problems moving around. Sometimes, people with EDS even get random allergies to foods they used to love. There are different types of EDS, and everyone experiences it differently. Jameela mentioned during the video that she sometimes feels dizzy, especially when she stands up. This is another common symptom of EDS, along with fatigue and trouble controlling your bladder. EDS isn't something you can catch from someone else. It's usually inherited from a parent, but sometimes it can happen for the first time in someone's life. This is what happened to Jameela. Jameela knows what it's like to struggle with EDS and to be misunderstood. Some people might not believe you're sick because you look healthy on the outside. This can be really frustrating, and Jameela wants to raise awareness about EDS so people can get the help they need. We can all see how life threw some serious punches at Jameela, but instead of letting those challenges knock her down, she's become a champion for her own well-being. She flipped the script on the idea that our worth is tied to our looks. Jameela sees her body as an amazing vessel that carries her around, not a trophy to be judged. Another thing she did was she said no to airbrushing and photo manipulation. The first step to body positivity is embracing yourself and your natural features, stretch marks and all. Jameela feels like the touched-up images create a fake world, one that can damage our self-esteem and make us feel like we'll never measure up. Jameela also developed a great relationship with food. She is also a big advocate of exercise. However, Jameela believes exercise shouldn't just be about burning calories. It's a mood booster and a stress reliever. Another thing that has helped Jameela cope is knowing she isn't alone. She surrounds herself with a supportive community, and she believes in the power of people coming together.
An eating disorder is a mental illness. It lasts for a very long time. It really leaves a mark deep inside a person. And also, I think a lot of people assume that someone with an eating disorder is always super, super, super skinny. Lots of people that I know of every size have some sort of disordered eating and a really, really sad relationship with food. And so what I'm trying to do in my career now, aside from my acting, is just try and open our eyes as to how toxic our relationship with food is, with our bodies is, and what toxicity the media has both subliminally and also just very blatantly put into us.
All of Jameela's health experiences made her the activist she is today. Her experience with anorexia is why she speaks out so much about body positivity and healthy eating. She wants people to know that there's nothing wrong with not being a certain size, and that focusing on being healthy is way more important. She encourages people to celebrate their bodies for all the amazing things they can do, rather than fixate on what they look like in a mirror. Jameela is also honest about how damaging diet fads and unrealistic beauty standards can be. She even goes so far as to criticize celebrities and companies who promote unhealthy weight loss methods or perpetuate the idea that there's only one way to be beautiful.
As a face of what they would call the body positivity movement, but you don't see yourself that way.
No, that movement is not for me. That movement was designed for women who are discriminated against, like in front of doctors and in our society because of their size. It's a must-have movement for those people. I am slender, so I'm not discriminated against because of my size. I actually believe in body liberation and body neutrality. Like I believe in just not thinking about your body, and I have the luxury of being able to do that because I'm not being constantly persecuted for my size. So
her activism went so far that she even managed to change Instagram and Facebook's advertising policies. And now people under the age of 18 won't be shown ads where they promote unrealistic body goals.
like huge corporations are most importantly making a stand against, because we've like hyper-normalized this culture of celebrities and influencers just being able to sell like everything other than heroin injected into your eyes freely on the internet to their really young followers. And so what we needed was the powers that be to say, no, we do not accept this. And so this is just the start of what I'm doing. Like next, I'm moving on to legislation, because we need to get this stuff off the market and away from children. I'm someone who took these products and I will never get my full health back. And so I'm damned if this is going to happen again 20 years later.
Even though Jameela eventually overcame these challenges, these experiences left a mark on her. She still avoids looking in the mirror too much, because focusing on appearance can be distracting. Jameela even helped launch a platform called I Weigh, which is a great example of body positivity in action. This social media initiative encourages people to share their positive qualities and strengths, not just their weight. She's also critical of the beauty industry, which often uses heavily edited photos and unrealistic standards to sell products.
But it's a life-positive movement in which women and men value themselves for the first time ever based on their achievements and who they are, especially with women, because we don't tend to value women like this, by their achievements and their relationships and all the things that are great about them, rather than just the number on a scale, which is how we still sort of identify women's worth. And so I weigh my amazing relationship, my appearance on Seth Meyers.
Imagine having to deal with such a troubling past and trying your best to improve the lives of others. Now imagine facing online doubt, accusations, and criticism on top of that. That's exactly what happened to Jameela recently. People online questioned the very real health challenges she faces, suggesting she was making it all up. This kind of bullying, called gaslighting, can be devastating, especially for someone like Jameela, who's already dealing with so much. Many people online suggested Jameela was suffering from what is called Munchausen syndrome, in which a patient pretends to be ill because of a mental illness. Even people like Piers Morgan spoke against her. These attacks were particularly hurtful because, as Jameela puts it, she has a fragile past with suicide, and the bullying triggered her to point of near death. Living with chronic pain and overcoming suicidal thoughts takes immense strength. Having your reality questioned can be incredibly isolating and damaging. Jameela's story isn't unique. Many people with chronic illnesses face similar skepticism and doubt. This can make a difficult situation even worse, leading to isolation and despair. All this criticism made Jameela focus on her activism even more. Her message is clear. She believes we need to set realistic body standards and be more understanding and compassionate towards those facing chronic illnesses.